Welcome everybody. What do we have on the slot today, Crystal?
Well, I
What are
think
you bringing for
I
us?
threw some stuff, and then again, kind of like how you bounce back of having more of a Q&A session for any of our attendees
I
here
love it.
of what they're facing right now, any questions with regard to their business or the market,
Yeah,
or like what to do. What do we do in
yeah.
situations like this where things just aren't moving the way that we would want them to be, right? It's kind of at that lull of business for a
I
lot of
love that.
individuals out there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I think, you know, it's been very successful when you and I have done our Q&A sessions. I mean, it's one
Mm-hmm.
thing to listen to me say the same old stuff over and over again. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
there's a little bit of new stuff in some of these things, but I
Yeah.
do know from the amount of calls that I get that it doesn't matter what brokerage you're with, it doesn't matter what board you're on. We're kind of all experiencing the whole same change and shift.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do? So
Yeah.
we're opening it up to all of you, all four of you right now.
Yeah.
What are you experiencing? What do you have any questions? Do you have things that you just want to say? What would you do if this
Mm-hmm.
happened? I talked to an agent this morning, and this particular agent has had a team for a little while, not in our brokerage, with another brokerage. We were actually doing a deal together, and oh, it's just been conditional on the sale of the property, and the buyer's property isn't selling, which was my buyer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
really, really tough.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just saying, I think I'm gonna get rid of my team. I find it hard to have people that are like-minded, that
Mm-hmm.
have a work ethic, that have the drive, and you need it even more in a tough market, especially if you are actually heavy on the listing side,
Yeah.
right? It's a
Mm.
buyer's market right now. They got tons to choose from. They can
Yes.
negotiate a price, right? But they're still not buying, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I understood what she was saying. Is
Yeah.
this time now for me to focus on my business and just my business rather than
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep everybody else afloat?
Yes. Yeah.
So
I can
I
imagine that's
know
a
these
struggle.
people here have questions for sure. I
Yes.
know they do.
Yes. And anyone that just popped in, we are running a Q&A session. So anything that you're encountering, any questions that you may have with regard to real estate, your business, all of the above, we're
Yep.
all, in a very tricky market right now that a lot of people are essentially getting frustrated with.
Hello,
So,
Noelle.
yeah.
We have our first hand up.
Yes. So
Yes,
give her the
let's do
ability to
it.
speak here.
Yeah. Do you want to go on camera or do you just want to type it in, Noelle?
I don't know if she's able
Um,
to turn her camera on. I don't know if
Oh,
it
okay.
allows her. It might not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
What's
you
going
hear me?
on? Yep.
Yes. Yep.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All I see is my name.
Yeah. We don't see your face. We
Yep.
can just hear your voice.
Okay. Yeah, but every time I talk, I see my name.
Yeah.
That's
Because you're,
okay.
because you're talking.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple things. So I just passed my 10-year anniversary as a realtor. Woohoo! And I
Nice.
still love it. I'm very passionate about it. Um, so I've plateaued, um, and I don't know how to get past my plateau. What I've, well, sort of. So what I've done is I doubled my budget for the number of leads I'm getting from Agent Locator. I have a session booked with somebody for something. Now I can't remember. I think it's something to do with the um how I think I'm
Coaching
sorry.
or something? The
Um
one-on-one?
yeah, it's a one-on-one with
Okay.
You with
uh
Harris. Yeah.
Pat.
Harris. You're with
Uh
Harris.
say the
Harris on
name
the
again.
20th. Harris.
Yeah, 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 Harris.
Yes.
Okay.
But what is that? I I'm just looking at the email, but now I can't remember what it's for.
It's more or less a training session to dive into your system, to look at your leads and provide
Okay, good.
any
I
guidance.
need
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
how to optimize everything, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So I think having more leads is good
Mhm.
to um, get over my plateau. But in like, I think the next thing is just investing more money. And in the past, I have invested a lot in marketing through a course I took, and it was wasted money. It was targeted money um, towards um, Facebook leads, like anything to do with social media. And I got no ROI.
Mhm.
Right,
And
right.
I had spent $1,000 in a short period of time.
Okay.
I had, it was this, can I say the name of the company?
It's okay. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So, um, I'm on a team with with my brokerage where, I get leads, but they take 50% of my commission, but it's better than no leads. So
Hmm.
since I first started on it, I've been on and off it since I became licensed. Um, I beat the average of what they say for the number of people you can convert. Like, I
Hmm.
don't know, I think the average is 1 to 2%, right?
Mhm,
Hmm.
mhm.
Yep.
I want to say I was doing 10%, but that sounds really high. I know I was doing a lot more than the 1 to 2.
Sure.
Um, so I don't know where I'm going wrong. I don't know how to get out of this plateau without going broke. Um,
Okay.
right now, I'm I'm on the roller coaster of um, I have buyers, then nothing, and then buyers, and I'm mostly working with buyers since I
Hmm.
became licensed as a realtor. I've always struggled with getting sellers. Um, and now I'm finding after my tenure, I'm getting most of my business is referrals and repeat clients. But I need new business too. And so I started doing follow up with all of the sales I had since I started in 2015. And I
Hmm.
almost cried when I saw the total number of sales I had through 10 years.
As in, you were proud of yourself, you cried, or it was lower than you expected it to be?
Oh, I don't know what it should have been, but yeah, I guess it
Should
was
have been
low.
higher or low, or it was too low?
I I I I think it was too low, but I have high expectations for myself,
This
and
is your
I don't know
problem.
where it should be.
Okay, so Crystal, I'm gonna dissect this because we've got everybody a lot of different compartments with
Mhm,
Noel right now. Um, Noel, the hardest part about being a realtor is we tend sometimes, I'm not saying you're doing this, but we tend sometimes to compare ourselves with other people that maybe are popping out deals and you're kind of going, oh, maybe, you don't feel like you are. You have to view every deal that you do as a massive success story. You have
Wait,
to
how do I turn my
reset,
face on?
you have to reset your mindset, okay? You are buying leads, which, in my opinion, I always say this, go back to some of the other videos that we've done, Crystal and I.
Mhm.
It's like winning the lottery. The more leads
Okay.
that you invest in, the better chances you have of a return on your investment, right? The more tickets you buy to win the 75
Mhm.
million, the more chances you'll get. One day I'll
Mhm.
get it. I swear. I swear. So, so spending money on the leads is a great way of putting yourself, and I say this all the time, Christine Irwin's here, she's here every webinar. This is where the people are shopping for real estate homes. They are online. And even if Noelle isn't on our face right now, I know you can hear me. So the
How
return
do
on
I
investment
get
is going, it,
how do I get on your face? Because sorry to have a squirrel moment, but I think it's important to see each other's um,
I think if I have to promote you to panelist
oh,
and you'll
and
come
we've
back
got
in.
other people that are asking questions. So we kind of
Yes.
gotta help you. And just so you know, I'm always available to chat after. But
Mhm.
here, everybody that's listening to this, we can all relate to what Noelle is going through. You know, I wished I had have done more. We don't know what her numbers are, but I'm here to say everything you do is fantastic. But it starts with a business plan. What is our business plan? What is our goal? What is it that we want to do for the fourth quarter? What is it that we want to do for 2026? It starts with defining the pillars of your business. It can't just be leads, right? But leads is definitely one big pillar. We got to be where the people are. People search on Google. Got to do it. Got to do it. But what else are we doing and what else are we working to bring in those other new business? So right now at the brokerage, I'm doing because we still have the fourth quarter for 2025.
Mhm.
And the first three quarters have been bad for a lot of us for 2025. So I'm doing one-on-one business planning with every single one of our agents to help them stay focused for the fourth quarter and start planning for 2026, right? And that's what you need to do. You need to give yourself a minute, Noelle, now that I can see your face. Hey, lady,
Mhm.
right?
hello.
Give yourself a
Sorry,
minute.
I haven't got out of my pajamas yet.
Oh, I wished I was
Life of
you.
a realtor.
Yeah. Give yourself a minute. Give yourself a minute. Give yourself an applause. 10 years, you made it. Most realtors don't even last 5.
Mhm.
You've beat the odds. You have
I'm
killed it.
extremely proud of myself. When
There you
I
go.
became a realtor in 2015, my motivation was never for the commission. Yes, I need to get paid, but it was always
Sure,
to help people, and the commission came secondary.
sure, sure. I get
Okay,
that. And that's
so
amazing.
can I just comment on um I've seen the business plans throughout my career, and I don't know I don't know how or the best way to write one, or I'm a black and white thinker. So if I don't follow it to a T, then I throw it out the trash, or if it doesn't
Yeah.
work, like I'm very mumbled jumbled up with the business
Okay.
plan and
So what
even
I want
having
you
a
to do,
schedule every day.
I want you to go to your broker of record, or if you have a manager, and ask them for a template of a business plan that they might have. A real estate business plan. And listen, we've got lots of people listening. If you have advice, chip in. It's not just me. If you can think of
Mhm.
anything, give her advice. But a real estate business plan is this. What, how many deals do you want to do for the rest of the fourth quarter? How many deals do you want to do for 2026? What does that look like for you, GCI? It's always good to see the GCI number because it helps motivate us, right? We might say, I want to do 3 deals before in the fourth quarter, but what does that really look like, GCI? So you're putting it on paper. The one thing we know about our minds is when we write it down, It gets in our mind way better, right?
100% agree.
That's where the
Yeah.
business plan kicks in. Now, listen, you have a chair. You're sitting on that beautiful recliner right now, right?
Yeah, this is my office because I
I
have a
love it.
really sore back.
Every chair has four legs, right? A typical chair, right? Unless you're one of those chairs that have the one leg and it splits like this. But every chair has four legs. Think of your business like a chair. Those four legs hold up our chair, just like your recliner, right? It still has feet on it. And each one of those legs have to represent a pillar of your business that you're planning on working in order to feed your funnel of leads. So, one is agent locator leads. One might be your 10 years of past clients. What am I doing every week to make sure that they still remember me? Your other pillar could be your sphere of influence. Who do I know that I'm going to make a plan to work every week? That pillar. Maybe it's just a little note or a phone call or a text. And then your fourth pillar, everybody's different. A lot of people are doing networking. They're going to different networking events. Some people are farming. They're doing regular farming. You could do anything you want, but that's where your business plan starts. Where is my business coming from? And what am I committed to do to work each of those legs every week to fill my funnel? So there's always new business coming in along with repeat and referral. So your homework, go to your broker of record or your manager and ask them for just a simple template. It's a place to start, but you're going to customize it so it sounds and works for Noel. And then once you have that done, everybody, then you time block. Time blocking is what you're committing yourself to your business so that you can work those pillars of your business. Once you do that, I absolutely guarantee you, all of the sudden now, you're working on your business. And listen, everybody, when I say this, when you work on your business, you will now work in your business. You will get results. Okay? So homework. Do that. If they don't
Send
have a
me this in
template,
an email, please.
pardon?
Can you send this to me in an email? Because you said get a template, but then I'm going to forget everything you said as soon as this is done.
Well, you've got a broker of record and you've got a manager at the brokerage you're at. So you can ask them if they've got a business planning template. If
Yeah,
you
that's fine.
don't, yeah, if they don't, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't, I can certainly send you the one that I've got. And the one that I've got is strictly a template. So when I do the one-on-one coaching with the agents here to get them set up for the fourth quarter in 2026, I always say to them, take this template and make it you. This template is just a basic one, but you're gonna make it your own because the more you put into it and you make it Noel's, the more you're gonna commit yourself and respond to working this business. All right?
Okay, so where I have problems with is I've learned about the time blocking before, and I really gave it an honest good try.
Yeah.
And it worked for a day. And then the next day, it's between say 10 and 11, but I get a request for a showing or
Yeah.
something else
Yeah.
happens
I
and
get it.
I can't do my whole time blocking or
So this is what
anything
I do.
else.
This is what I do. I get it. Listen, if we got to be on the fly and we got to run with a buyer or a seller needs us, of course we're going to run and we're going to go. I mean, that's our paycheck. But
Yeah.
it's very interesting. Once I started, and it took me, and my son's on this with me, Austin Baylis. Hi, Austin. You just logged on. Um, he is a realtor with me. He's worked with me for years. For most of my career, I allowed the business to run me instead of me running the business. So, what I did as a mom was I said, after about 10 years of flying, and missing some really important family things because, clients wouldn't move the showing or whatever. I finally said,
That's when
that's
I
it.
make all my business on the
Okay. So this is
holidays.
when I decided that no longer am I going to say to my people, when do you want to see this house? Say it's a buyer. Okay, you want to see it Saturday? What time do you want? I know that my time blocking is usually in the mornings where I'm going to work the pillars of my business and I'm going to work on my business. I still have to do paperwork. I still have to fill out my trades. I still have to do offers, right? So
Yeah.
the morning for me is essential to get everything I need done in order to be able to run the rest of my day. So everybody, it took a very hard lesson. And I have talked about this in my webinars before. When I had cancer and I had to look at my one son and say, I'm sorry I missed your concert. It was at that moment in time that I said, no longer does the business run me. So time blocking's in the morning. What I do when somebody wants to see something is I now say, okay, you want to see it on Saturday or you want to see it on Wednesday. I can show it to you at 12 o'clock. Does that work for you? And then usually it does work for most people. In
Yeah.
the event, somebody says, I'm sorry, Tara, I can only do 10 a.m. Of course, I'm going to show it. But once I started giving them my availabilities, I never had any issues time blocking because
Okay.
they
So I
they would
have started,
accommodate me. Yeah,
yeah, I have started to do that. When I first started, I was just letting people lead me around. But in the
yeah,
last year or two, I do
yeah.
say, oh, I have some availability these three times on Friday, or these two
Sure.
times on Friday and this time on Saturday. Does this work for you? Instead of when were you looking to see it? I tell them, and I
Good.
always say,
Good.
excuse me, I always say my schedule is really flexible. And
Well,
even
maybe
if
we don't
I'm
say that.
really, oh, I was going to say, even if I'm really busy, I say that
Yeah.
because then I'm not, I don't want people to think that I'm so busy, even if I am, that
Mhm.
I don't have room for them.
I understand that. And everybody chip in if you
Mhm.
have advice. Here's the way I looked at it through trial and error. When we say we're flexible, then people will expect what we say. So you have a day that you have three buyers and they are back to back, back to back. And then you have somebody that now wants you at a certain time that you're already booked. And you have preached, I can be flexible, I can be accommodating, and you can't that day. Then what happens? What you
I've
said is
never
not
been
what you
so
can
busy
do.
that I have that problem.
But so now what I say is, because some people will always try to be last minute. We've got those people that want us to jump and run. And I will
Yeah.
say, listen, word of caution, I will do my best if I can. However, I'm a busy realtor and I sometimes get booked days in advance. So the more notice you
Yeah.
give me, the better I can make sure that time is just for you. And then I say this, everybody, and I'm talking to everybody. I cannot unbook one client for another, and I will hold the same for you as well. Once I educate my people, I'm informing them, I am here for you. You are a priority, but so are all the other people I'm working with. They get it. They get it. And listen, at the end of the day, we can't divide ourselves into two,
Mhm.
right? So if you really have a conflict, you can always try to get somebody to fill in for you. That's why it's really important to have a buddy in the brokerage, somebody that you know, gosh golly, that one time you can say,
I
I
don't
need
trust
help,
anybody.
right?
I don't trust anybody. Realtors have been so mean, and they've
Mm.
they've gone and taken my buyers, and I've been jaded that I I used to have 3,000 Facebook friends. 99% of them were realtors, and all they talked about was their sales and their home or open houses. And I was like, forget it. I don't want to hear that, because when I started, I never wanted to be on a team. I won't be on a team because I'm very motivated, very high driven, very type A. I will
Mm-hmm.
not go to sleep at 11:54 p.m. at night until that contract is completely signed, because I know we have nothing until that contract is signed. That's just, and I know I couldn't be on a team, and I don't want a team because nobody could ever live up to my standards or expectations, and maybe they're unrealistic for myself. um
Maybe.
I guess that was just a side note,
And
but I was going to say about the money. I have no frame of reference for how much money I should be making. Hey, I would love to make six figures again. I once was making 150,000 a year. In 10 years, I'll tell you, I made 150 sales. Now, I don't think
okay.
that's a lot, but I have no frame of reference. I just thought it was bad. I
So
just,
what
and
are you on
the,
the
and the
Toronto Real
reason,
Estate Board?
pardon?
What board are you on? Are you in
Uh,
Ontario?
no, no, Alberta.
You're in Alberta. So why don't you ask your broker of record or your manager, why don't you go on the board stats? Because 150 divide by, would you say 10
10.
years?
Mhm.
You know, you're probably doing more per year than any of the most realtors are, right?
What?
So think about it. Go and get your stats. But I do have to give Crystal, if you're okay with
Mhm.
that, we've got
Yep.
questions that I have to
Yeah.
also, I don't want to take away from
Okay,
you,
I'm
Noel,
sorry.
Mhm.
but this is everybody. But here's
Yeah.
the deal. You have to learn to trust the people you're working with, because it is very difficult in this business to just only rely on yourself. At the end of the day, we all are colleagues. And I always say this, don't I, everybody? We're all in
Mhm.
this business together. So find a way in your heart to open yourself up to even one person that maybe could be a mentor or can really just help you, motivate you, and have you go to the limits that you want to be. But I would say you're already a pretty awesome realtor, and you need to give yourself some
Wow.
credit for that, okay? And
Thanks.
and
I
send
appreciate
Crystal
that.
your email.
Mhm.
Send Crystal your email, and I'll reach out to you. Okay, Noel?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Thank
Okay.
you very, very
You're
much.
welcome.
awesome.
We got this. We got this. Okay, we've got other questions.
Awesome. Yeah,
Okay.
we've
Thank
got
you.
Jag Deep. His question is how to build rapport with a new online lead when they come to your CRM while contacting the first time. So building that initial rapport, and secondly, how to set up an in-person meeting efficiently. I'll let you start with this one. I know,
Okay. Jake
yeah.
Deep. Okay, I'm seeing it right here. Sorry.
Mhm.
How to build rapport to a new online lead when they come while contacting them. Yeah. Listen, it's not easy, is it? I mean, they don't know us. So one of two things. I don't know how you work your leads. And I think, Jagdeep, you've been on the webinars before. I'm super, super big into the email drip campaign that I have. So at the end of the day, if you're a caller and you prefer to call your people right at the get go, everybody's different, then I suggest finding wording in that first phone call that is not that survey real estate commission sales, right?
Mhm.
I don't call them anymore when they come in. I let my soft email drip go out to them because it's very soft and it's very non-sales like. And the calls that are made are usually a few days after these soft emails are hitting the inbox and they get used to my name. So I'm going to give you an example. The phone script book that I've written, basically, whenever I make a phone call, I'm always calling just to say, thanks. I'm really glad you signed up for my site. Here's my cell number. If there's anything you need, please feel free to give me a call. Period. Period. I don't care if they're looking like I'm not, hey, so you're looking in Oshawa. I understand you're looking up to 800. That's not the initial phone call. The initial phone call is I'm just calling to say I appreciate the fact that you logged onto my site. If there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to let me know. So I figured out right from the get-go, everybody, that building trust through email, through an online lead, is going to be tougher than if somebody picks up the phone and calls you like they used to do 30 years ago when I first got in the business. People called us. There was no internet. And so I figured out a way of how to build their trust in a super non-threatening manner. So an in-person meeting, that's tough. Not everybody's going to be wanting to do that right away. And honestly, the quicker that you build a rapport, right? Non-salesman, no survey questions, not, any of that, the sooner you're going to be able to get them in a one-on-one meeting. I don't believe there's any rocket science to it.
No.
Do you, Crystal?
No, there's no one
There's going to
right
be people.
It's going to be what ultimately ends up working for you, and you're going to get your own rhythm with how you go about it. So I know Tara has her way. You're going to have Nick, who has his way. He waits a couple days as well before he calls, but he does do the phone call, and he does ask questions. He more or less, though, goes into those conversations with the understanding that, hey, I understand you're most likely just browsing for now, right? And just making sure that everything is set up, kind of like that concierge. I want to make sure I'm sending you information that's valuable and what you want to be receiving. And then he does go into conversation and does ask questions about obviously what they would be wanting, and then educates them on other possibilities, and it gets the people talking. Right. So it's not, and then it kind of diverts into, we're looking in this area. Oh, I love that area. I grew up in there. Just those tidbits of personalization to the conversation. It's not so, cut and dry. I need to know the location, the price, the bedrooms, relying on just the lead to give you that information. It's more also advising them on alternate options and what that looks like. And that,
I think it depends who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You could have one lead that particular phone call is going to work. And then you might have other ones where they're like, they don't want to talk to you, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even if you do make a phone calls, and even if that's your time blocking, I cannot stress enough that you need a good email drip program as well. The two really do go hand in hand. People will reply to an email as well. So master them both. Don't be afraid to make any changes. If you're calling on certain days when they come in and it isn't working, it's okay to not call them on that day and pick another day. Yeah. Everybody is different. Everybody. But I will tell you, every year, still to this day, 75% of my business comes from agent locator leads. So when I say to you that it works, it does work. I know I'm not going to get all these leads, but to have a lead in my system for 6 or 7 years and then say, I'm now ready, Tara, and they do 3 deals with me in the next 2 years, you have to understand there's a waiting time that can happen sometimes in agent locator. That you've already invested the money, you've already paid for the lead, wait it out. because it
Incubation.
doesn't matter how long they're in there, the business is still potentially yours,
Mhm.
right? You're
Absolutely.
welcome.
And it
Now,
can, so
okay,
it's after an initial conversation with a lead, it can take 5 to 12 personalized touch points after that initial conversation to get them to the next step. Okay, so if I talk to Tara today and,
sure,
whatever, and these are personal, not just sending them listings. These are additional touch points, reach outs, calls, emails, text messages, voicemails, whatever it is, 5 to 12 on
right.
average follow-ups
Yeah.
after that initial call. And that's unfortunately, real estate or not, where a lot of us struggle is in having systems in place for those follow-ups to keep us consistent.
If I had a nickel, everybody, for how many people I've gotten, I say in my car, so that means I'm already showing them houses or I've been in and done a listing appointment. How many people have said to me, you never bugged me too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have said you didn't delete me when other agents have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest issue that can happen when it comes to leads is that we're hungry. We're paying the money and we want to see the ROI right away.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't our show. This is their show. And if you just hang in there, you have the right email drip, you always make sure the listings are getting sent to them because they sign up because they want to see houses. They don't sign up to be hounded by a realtor, right? So, first and foremost, I never lose my focus that the biggest thing these people want is they want to see houses. I never lose that focus, everybody, right? It's not about me, it's about them. But when they are ready to do the deal, to have them say to me, I always knew it was going to be you, Tara. Sorry, it took me 2 years. I'm like, it's cool. Right? I'm good. I've already, in my mind, the moment you enter my dashboard, I'm already believing you're my client. You may not, but I do. So do you see where I'm talking about mindset? As much as I'm paying the money, and yes, I need the return on investment, I never lose focus that these are people that I would never have the opportunity to do business with or would never know that I'm a realtor had I not have been investing on where everybody is doing their shopping, which is Google, right? And it starts here and looking at your dashboard and going, oh my gosh, look at how many people are in there. What do I got to do today to reach somebody a little bit extra?
Yeah. I think
So I hope
too,
that
it's,
helps you, Jagdeep.
yeah, I think too, at a lot of the times we have to practice a little bit more on our active listening. Some of us are very eager in conversation, and it's like whatever the person is telling us, we're not even listening to them. We're trying to, again,
That's
as you
fair.
said, it's on their terms, but we kind of like almost avoid that whatever is coming out of their mouth and be like, oh, well, this house just came on the market. I want to go take a look. You want to set up a showing for it. It's like, well, did you not just listen to what this lead was telling you? And I've heard it in recordings before. It was just like trying to get them to the next step. It's like, well, they just told you they're at least 6 to 12 months out. But they're probably not want to go look at that house.
That's fair.
So
yeah.
it's very being in tune. And again, adjusting how we're communicating with each one of these individuals based on how they're communicating back, right? Like you said, some of them might say, well, where they sit, they're not really willing to have a conversation with you. Some of them may be those chatty Cathys that are just telling you everything in their life and what's going on, and the kids just had babies. And, you get all different people, and we have to put on different hats depending on who we're talking to and adjust our scripts accordingly.
Yeah, it's very true. It's not easy, but again, I can't stress enough that it starts with your mindset. You have to believe that there's business in there. And remember what I always say, everybody, it's not always about the lead. It's also about who they know. So never, never, never forget that even though I've got a lot of leads and I invest in leads, the referrals that I've gotten from them have been huge. even the lead itself, who I've never still to this day done a deal with, they've referred me. So it's just a matter of what that big picture
Mhm.
looks like for you guys. And I will be honest with you, we all invest in Agent Locator, but how much of us can use it to its best abilities, right?
Mhm.
And that's where time blocking comes in. There are so many different filters now that are making our lead conversion a little bit easier. And even I'm guilty of when I get those emails, I'm like, oh my gosh, another thing I got to learn, which is great. But we have to be committed to learning the system,
Mhm.
right? So it doesn't take us all day to be
Yeah.
able to kind of send something out real super quick, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it
Any
can,
other
the
question?
filters, not so far.
Okay.
Not so far. But yeah, those filters in the system, even I sometimes need an extra set of eyes. I'm like, hey, what filters do we need to
Right.
use? This is what we're trying to extract right now. So
Yeah.
sometimes it takes different types of thinking to pull up different audiences and learn your
Yeah.
system, play with filters. It's all like click on buttons.
And think about the times that we're in. So last weekend, or no, that's a lie, not last weekend. Last week, I was sitting here and I'm always trying to write different templates for Agent Locator because I'm always putting myself in a buyer's or seller's position. And I know that with the leads, everybody, I buy buyer leads, and most of the listings that I get, aside from my past clients in Sphere, they're the buyer leads houses. Like they
Mhm.
have houses to sell.
Mhm.
So I'm always thinking, especially in a tough market, when they come on and we get the email notifications, what do I actually have to do now to reach these people to help them understand, help educate, I guess is a better word, on the fact that now's the time to buy. So, as much as it's easy to use everything that Agent Locator has, they've got a lot of templates and they're all fantastic. But thinking about what your market is like, specifically where you are, and what you're seeing, and creating a touch with an email, and it can also be a text as well if you so
Mhm.
choose, and how you can now, every time these people come in, you can now touch them with something else. And the email that I created, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a, hold on one second, we got to open up the little phony wonies here. The email that I created kind of says, don't miss your chance. The market could shift soon. So, I talked about, and again, this is for Ontario, everybody, but they are talking about bringing the interest rates down in September. So I said, with the interest rates expected to potentially drop, we always got to throw in, or allegedly, I guess you could say, this might be a great opportunity to get into the market. Acting early means you can still take advantage of today's conditions, giving you the chance to negotiate a good price. So, if you guys can kind of see where I'm
Mhm.
coming from here,
Mhm.
people are sitting on the fence. We all know as realtors, now is the time to buy when you can negotiate, right? And we also know that the market can change when the interest rates drop too low and now everybody's in bidding wars again.
Mhm.
So this basically is another touch, and I go on a little bit more. My emails are not long to say, please understand that if you want to own a piece of real estate, please don't hesitate. I'm here to help, but now is the time. So as I now formulate these templates, I put them in my system so they're easy for me to use. They now get popped out every time somebody comes on through my email notifications. Or you can mass send them out if you so choose. But this template is there for you to use whenever you want, right? And modify for other market conditions. So it's more everybody than just going, I'm going to make a call. The reason that I convert and I convert so high is I'm constantly thinking about all the other touches that they need just to start viewing me as the person that really can help them in real estate. Sounds like a lot, but it
Mhm.
takes 2 seconds,
Yeah.
right? So that hopefully that helps all of you.
Simple, soft touches, but right to the point, really. It's it's not too much information being
Right.
thrown at them, right?
Right.
Any
Yep.
questions, things like that. And market research, now's the time. I think for many as well, and maybe you experience this, I know you're very big on your why, but the motivation for many, even realtors that I know personally, it's the motivation kind of just goes, right? Because it's hard
Yeah.
to keep going at it. We're not really having a hard time finding, or
Yeah.
seeing the results of all of our efforts.
Of
So
course.
aside from your why, because we know what the why is there anything particularly that keeps you motivated to continue with those day-to-day tasks that are fundamental to keep your business going, and which will ultimately allow it to kind of spike again when things do twist,
Sure.
and we now
Sure.
have real estate back to where we want it to be?
I mean, I know that I'm an oddball to a lot of people, the drive and all of that. I know it's hard to understand, but how can I say this? It will go back to my why. It is so massive to me. And the thought of letting those boys down, even though I'm not letting them down, like this is my version, this isn't
Yeah.
theirs, but it just is all encompassing for me. And I look at myself and I look at where I came from. Everybody's story is different, and I'm not here to, we're not here to bring out the Kleenexes, but I know what I grew up like, and I know how I worked so hard in this business to get it where I want. Whether or not your numbers are the same this year compared to what they were last year, look at the volume, look at the people behind you, look at how many past clients you have, how many years you've invested, and you're still doing deals. I'm not willing for 1 minute out of the day to let that fall apart because I lose my focus. And my focus is a legacy for my kids. I don't care if I have millions of dollars. I care if my kids do. And they probably won't. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying the drive is not about me. And that's what keeps me going. And it's been tough. And even I have days where I'm like, this is a lot. This is a lot for me. But then I have their pictures everywhere. I have everywhere. So I never lose that focus. I will be honest with you. There are times that I do need to take a moment for Tara. And that's where at the point that I'm at now, where I'm like, not one day this summer because the market was so bad and I had so many listings, and I'm trying to think of all the different things I can do to get these houses sold, because reducing the price isn't working, right? So we're doing more open houses, we're doing more production shoots, I'm door knocking more, you name it, right?
Yeah.
And then there are times I sit back and go, well, what about me? Right? So you have to have balance, but you cannot be in commission sales and lose sight of why. You can't, right? And I have my business plan. I have beside me here, there's a big whiteboard. You can kind of see it. Can you kind of see it right there? I filled it out. I filled it out with every single person that's in my car currently, all the listings I have coming up, so that I can at my desk strictly look this way. And there's an additional motivation. Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to reach out to? And then I usually say, maybe I'll have Christmas Day off. As you know, right? As I get more tired, maybe I'll have Christmas off. Yeah. Yeah. But I think you guys can relate to that, right? We'll see what they say. What about you, Crystal? What keeps you going?
Well, I just keep going. I don't know. I get driven. I put a lot on my plate. So I thrive typically in faster paced environments personally. So if I've got a lot of things, so in your scenario, kind of like you've got listings, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that. Those are areas where I thrive, because it's like, okay, I got to do this, almost where you're running out of time. But you
Right.
won't ever run out of time. It's just like, I feel there's a little bit more pressure. So when there's pressure, 100%. When there's a lack of pressure and everything's just kind of like la-di-da, that's when I really have to just get into, it's daily habits is really what it comes down to. You get
Correct.
up, you do this, you do
Correct.
this, you do this, right? You just kind of keep going with those flows. And yes, you do need to take time to think about yourself. And, you know, because especially when we call them the valley of despairs, where you're just kind of like lollygagging down at the bottom, right? So you got to do things for yourself or do things for your business that excite you again. And sometimes it could just be one really great conversation with somebody that truly
It's
just
true.
sparks the motivation right back up again. So it's just that constant reminder to keep going, because all it takes is one. Sometimes you're like, how did it only take this to get me moving again? But sometimes
And
that's
we
all
need
it
it,
takes. Yeah.
right? Especially if you are working your leads and you're not getting people communicating back with you, and it happens, right? You'll go through a
Mm-hmm.
period where you're like, oh my goodness, this is what I say. Everybody hates me. Nobody
Yeah.
loves me anymore today, right? Or
Yeah.
when you do make the call or you send a text, they're all Debbie Downers and
Yeah.
woo-hoo, right?
Yeah.
And then that one person is phenomenal, or they
Mm-hmm.
text you, or they reach out to you, or they reply to an email. Those are the things. And when I was coaching, when I had this crazy thing called lead gen, and I was coaching people, everybody got a stemless wine glass, and it
Mm-hmm.
had the logo of my coaching company on it. And everybody would get their kit and they would say, what is this for? And I would say to them this: even if somebody replies back to you, yes, or thanks, that is a win,
Mm-hmm.
because all you need is 1 ounce of communication. And that's where I want everybody to celebrate, because once you celebrate, even if it is simply thanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got them. Because what can you do with a reply? You can now reply back. No problem, Bob. Just to let you know, when the time is right for you, I'll be here. And then I would say to everybody, put a drink in your glass. I don't care if it's water, I don't care if it's wine, whatever you do, and celebrate they communicated with you. And I think that is the biggest problem with our leads, our
Mm-hmm.
expectation of what we're getting out of them. Well, they've replied, but none of them are seeing houses with me. But let's celebrate the win that you have. They're replying to you. That's huge,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're doing something right. So let's move it a little bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got to have
And you
the
know
right
what?
mindset.
And I think too, this kind of goes into connection where you're saying a lot of people doing more networking, you know, surrounding yourself by people that are where you want to be can keep that spark in yourself going to get there, right? They motivate you just by your saying, well, they're doing, and this is what they're doing. It kind of puts that little bit of pep back in our step to continue.
Right, right. Yep, network communication. I was just talking this morning. We're doing preparing for our office meeting next week, and I was talking to the broker of record here, and was saying, okay, what are you thinking about the market? Because it's been really weird here in Ontario. And she goes, communication, 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 right? So it's no different whether or not it's your sphere of influence, your past client, whether or not you have a farming area, or it's your lead gen pillar. Communicate, communicate, communicate. What can you do to set yourself different from everybody else? Listen, every listing that I take and I get is somebody else's past listing, past
Mm-hmm.
client. So if you were to do a survey for how many sellers end up listing with a new agent and not their previous agent, I guarantee you it's going to be, they sold me the house and I never heard from them again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's the same with the leads. We don't want to over touch them, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it has to be enough so that they know and solidify you're the one that's potentially going to get their business when the time is right for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what
And
a
it's
great
kind of,
way.
yeah, it kind of ties into Roy's question though here. He's wondering, how often do you send those soft email drip campaigns? Like, how many do you send? Like personally for you. So it kind of ties into that where you're
My drip campaign, Okay, so there's a lot of different touches that I do. So or my as soon as the lead comes in, they get set up. I revise their listing criteria search. Sometimes the agent locator automatic search is okay, but a lot of times I say I give it the Terra touch. I do a little bit different. Then I add them to my email drip campaign. It is, oh, Austin, help me. It is 147 days. I have them go off very soft emails, and all of that entire drip campaign is made for buyers and sellers. So it's a little bit of mixture in between.
Mhm.
And they go out anywhere from once every 7 days to, I think the closest one I have is 5 days. And they're all after each other. So let's just
Yeah.
say once a week, but every day they're getting listings. Because
Mhm.
remember what I said, all they want is to see houses, right?
Mhm.
So every day they're getting listings, my name, Tara Baylis, in their inbox every day. And then once a week, a very soft email from me that says, hey, I just wanted to thank you so much for being part of my site. I really appreciate you coming back on. If there's anything you need, I'm here. And then my next email is going to talk about something a little different, but it's going to be still very soft.
Mhm.
Then I have the templates that I talked to you about, like this one about encouraging people to buy now.
Mhm.
If you notice they like a property 3 times, I have a template that says, hey, I noticed you liked 123 Main Street 3 times. So I really go by the email notifications to
Mhm.
kind of grant me what I'm going to do that day with that email notification.
Yeah.
So they could be getting that from me 2 or 3 times a week, maybe, depending on how often they're coming in. I also send open house invites to my leads. If properties like this sit on the market for a while, so I wouldn't be sending if I'm doing an open house every weekend on a certain property, they're not going to get that every single week.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do lots of those things. Basically, what I'm doing, everybody, is just solidifying I'm a working realtor,
Yes.
right? A new
Mhm.
listing alert. Don't be afraid to send that to your people. And
Yeah.
you will get the Debbie Downers that are like, it's not even the area I'm looking in. I don't care, right? So I word my new listing alerts to say, listen, if it's not for you, maybe you know somebody. And I'll
Mhm.
send them the virtual tour,
Yeah.
right? There's so many things you guys can do that's more than just calling,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And it sounds overwhelming. And yes, it can be. But once you have these emails set in place, it's so easy. And that's where time blocking, Crystal, really comes in, right?
Mhm.
Remember, everybody, you're paying the money for agent locator. You're already paying it every month, right? Invest yourself into it so that when your leads are being worked, they are being worked exactly the way you would. And I
Mhm.
always put myself in their position. How would I respond if somebody was doing this with me?
Yeah.
Right? So for my approach is super soft and gentle. But listen, I'm going to tell you something. On Friday, one of my leads called me out of the blue. He's only been on for 3 days. And he called me on my cell phone and he was like, can we chat about this house? And immediately I'm like, okay, where's this guy from? Right? Because I'm always interested in knowing how long have you been on. So as much as I say somebody can be on your system for 6 years, like it has for
Mhm.
me in the past, they can be on for one day and
Yeah.
want to do something with you, right?
Mhm. Yeah. No, for sure.
That's my
Absolutely.
experience. All right. Hopefully that helped
Awesome.
everybody.
I hope so.
Okay. And
Everyone's gonna.
Noelle, you got this. You're going to come back on. We always do this the last Tuesday of the month.
Mhm.
Next month in September, we've got one of our agents here. His name is Chad Harmer. He is a realtor. He also owns his wealth and finance company, which he had long before he became a realtor. He's going to be talking to all of us. All of you have to attend about what the economists are predicting for the rest of the year and into 2026. I think this is really important information for all of us as realtors to go from somebody that actually has from the wealth and finance part. He's not coming to us as a realtor. He's coming to us from the economy side to kind of help us work what we're doing in our business plans.
Awesome.
It's
Looking forward to it.
exciting. All right.
Perfect. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you all next month.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.